Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I have a special video. This is a 2012 Mercedes-Benz E350 4MATIC in luxury trim. I borrowed this from a friend of mine, and this will be hopefully a longer video today. These cars are really special and I don't get access to them too much, so I think I'm going to take my time and do this car justice as far as a tour. So this car is it's not huge, but it does look really big right now back here in my driveway. I'm filming at home today, and because it's nice and quiet. Unfortunately, there's full sun everywhere. There's no shade yet at all. All the trees are just starting to green up just a little bit, but anyway, so we'll do what we can. It's not ideal filming in the sun. But again, this we'll just do a quick walk around here. So again, this is the luxury trim. So it received a couple different treatments. First off, you have the hood ornament. The sport trim, that was the other trim that you could have, would have a flat emblem on the hood. This one also has Distronic. That's what this piece right down here is for. The luxury trim also gets a little bit of different fascia and body treatment down the sides, and both front and back. The exhaust is a little bit different, the exhaust tips I should say. This car isn't perfect. Again, I'm borrowing this from a friend of mine. He recently purchased it, so there's a couple things that need done here and there. I think he's getting new wheels and tires. These center caps are a little bit worn out, but everything's nice and straight, nice and clean down the side. It's a little tight back here to film. It was a little bit easier with the 3 Series BMW. But anyway, everything's nice and proper. Same around here at the back. And down the side, the other side as well. So again, the Sport would have had a slightly different bumper on the back and different exhaust. So we'll start back here at the trunk. In order to get in, you have a little button up inside. So when you pull that, the trunk pops up. So nice and clean. You've got storage over here, some bins on the side, first aid kit. Then there's a little hidden compartment here, and then below is the jack and spare tire and everything there. You've got a hook here for luggage. Nice big trunk for this car. And then up here you've got a couple different buttons. This one right here, again, I think this is an option with the luxury trim, but if you press this, the trunk will actually close itself. How cool is that? So I really like that, because then you don't have to touch the boot lid and scratch it all up. But that's a real luxury feature. I think I'll do that again just for fun. So again, it pops up nice, and then you just press this button, and there it goes. That's how you know you're special. You have features like that. Getting into the car is also a little bit interesting. If you press the front here, the car will lock, and if you put your hand on the back, it'll unlock. So keyless go. And you can also get in with the key fob, which I have here. Lock, unlock, and it does open the trunk remotely. So we'll take a look here. Let's start in the back seat here. Now, every car has its problems, and Mercedes is no different there. These cars did have a couple issues which we can kind of talk about, but actually this one's not too bad. One issue that they had was the wood trim would tend to fade, especially in the front, which we'll look at then. But this car, actually, the trim is in really good shape. The pre-facelifted W212s, this is a W212, so this came in 2010. These were the new models, and they ran till 2013, and then they were facelifted for 2014, and that was still the W212. And this also replaced the CLK convertible. Those were now called the E-Class convertibles. But anyway, the pre-facelift 212s also had wood down here, so this car has a lot of wood in it, which we'll get into. So having that be in good shape is important, because if you wanted to replace it, if you were going to go to that trouble, it would be very, very expensive. But nice features back here. There's actually accent lighting up underneath this piece right here. Nice leather. Everything's leather, nice, soft to the touch, satin nickel finish, no chrome. Nice MB Tex upholstery. This is all in good shape. Adjustable headrests here, which will go up and then they can be lowered, and then also you have the button in the front to lower them. Nice armrest here that folds down, and if you lift this up, there's some storage inside, and if you press this button, cup holders that pop out. Oops. Nice stuff. Put that all away there. Nice pockets here in the back of the seats, and also nice cutouts for your rear passengers. You've got air vents back here on the console, and then also on the floor down below. If you open this up, you have an ashtray and also a power outlet back here. They're pretty nice. We'll take a look here at the passenger side. Again, you have wood at the top of the door, satin nickel finishes. We'll take a look more at the controls on the driver's side and also the wood down below. Nice door sill plates there, and you would have lumbar controls here for the lumbar support in the seat. And then you have these little compartments here which pop down. This little adjuster here would help secure an item, and then you also have this pocket here as well, so nice storage, nice door pockets here, nice big beefy grab handles as well, and a nice big glove box. There's a little shelf up here, tons of space there, and that's also air conditioned as well. All right, it is pretty warm out today. It's about 70 or so degrees, but it feels even hotter in the sun, and this being a black car, it's pretty toasty. So this one actually has keyless start, so you just have to have the key in the car and put your foot on the brake and press the button and it'll start right up. Let's take a look under the hood. Turn the radio off as well. All right, under the hood there's a 3.5 liter V6 mated to a 7-speed automatic transmission, and this is direct injected. So it made about 300 horsepower, which is also about the same as the 5 liter V8 that came in the CLK before it. So I'm not sure. We'll talk about that a little bit more later. The power is very, very nice. Everything under here is in really nice shape. Everything's nice and clean. And I'm not going to demonstrate it now, but these hoods do go up into the full service position that really gets them out of the way. Everything's nice and clean here. This chrome is in really nice shape on the front end. These headlamps are just in excellent shape. I'll take a look at some of the features inside. I've got the air conditioning, if that's not too loud. Okay, so again, more wood trim all over the dash and down the center console. So you can see if this was all bleached out and faded, this is difficult to show in the sun. But anyway, if it was all bleached out and faded, it would just be tremendously expensive. This car also has a really nice wood trim steering wheel. So where do we start? There's a lot of features in this car. So we'll start here with the mirror. This is auto dimming, and you also have the compass. If this will focus, we'll see. And then there's home link controls here on the bottom. Here's your sunroof control, so it'll vent, and then also automatically just press the button and then you can let go. It will automatically open. Go ahead and close that. I'll pull this sunshade closed as well. A lot of different buttons up here for the lights. Let me shut the camera off and see if this will focus. That's better. I don't know why I was having such an issue there. But anyway, all the features and controls for the lights are here, and they do come on nicely. They come on slowly. They're also really nice, nice design. Very neat stuff. You have your mirrors up here that flip up, and then the other thing is too, this reminds me a lot of the Saab wagon. If I can pop this out, there it is. So you can move this over to the side, and then you have an additional visor that folds down. So that's pretty cool. I've really only ever seen that in Saabs myself. Well, that's kind of a cool feature. We'll put that all away. And you also have handles front and back to grab onto. Same on the driver's side there. Okay, let's get into the seat controls. So these are very adjustable, forward, backwards, up and down, typical stuff. And then these buttons here would actually raise and lower this button would raise and lower the headrest. And then these cushions will actually pull out forwards, and then you can also push them back as well. So they're very, very adjustable. We'll pull that forward a little bit. And then you also have 3 positions for memory there, and you have a lock and unlock here as well, which is very, very quiet. You have your mirror adjustments here, all your window controls here as well. These are all automatic windows. Right down here is the control for the trunk. The cool thing is, if you pull that, and if you press and hold, neat stuff there. The controls for the lights are here. You have automatic on, your parking lamps. You also have your fog lamps there. There's your parking brake release. Moving across, this is the control for the cruise control. This is distronic in this car, so it will actually kind of follow the car ahead of it and maintain a distance that it uses lasers. Complex stuff. Then you have your automatic wipers down here, turn signals. There's paddle shifters on the wheel, and then below there's the adjuster for the steering wheel, which tilts and also telescopes. Very adjustable. These paddles also feel really nice. Good sturdy stuff. Controls all over the steering wheel here for the control of the phone. There's the voice control, the back button. The neat thing is with this, it works with the command system. So I'll zoom in a little bit here for this, but you can go back and forth between different functions. So you can use your telephone or navigation and certain different things here. And then once you're in each one, you can use the up and down key to go through different functions. So let's just say, and that might seem like overkill, but let's just say that you have the radio set up on this display. On this one, you can bring up your navigation. Now I don't have a route right now for guidance, but it would operate that. So you could have one screen for each feature, which is really cool. You have your analog clock here to the side. On the updated W212s, the clock moved kind of to the center here between the vents. Then you have the fuel gauge on the left there, tachometer and temperature on the right. And then this is the shifter. So basically you press this button here on the end to shift it into park, and then with your foot on the brake, this will kind of show you what's going on. You press down for drive, up for reverse, and a light tap for neutral, and then again press in on the end to put it in park. The other cool thing is that this car has brake hold, so I'll release my foot from the pedal and we'll roll forward, and I'll press the brake, and if I hold it for a second or two, you see this hold button will come on. My foot is off the brake and we're stopped and we're not in park. So that's pretty cool. If you were in traffic, it'll hold itself. Neat stuff. Very cool. And again, this is the start stop button there. You have the command system here, which has the ribbons top and bottom. This is hard to see right now, but you can go through various different functions. And then this control here just lets you go through everything. You have this knob here which turns, clicks back and forth, left and right. You have a back button here and clear. You also have sort of shortcuts here to go between each different function. I should have that on the camera instead of just pressing the buttons. So you can go through everything you want to go through there. And then presets on the side here. Seek, scan. Your volume control is here, and this turns the display on and off. I won't go too much into that. There's other videos on that out there that go into it a little bit more. This is stuff that, I know about it, I know how to use it, but I'm certainly not an expert with it. I just haven't driven that many cars that have that stuff, so I'll just leave that for somebody else. But everything is fully functional here and working well. You have the heated seat buttons here, left and right. This one right here will lower the rear headrest, so if we press this, there it goes. And then this one here operates the rear sunshade, so again, if you press that, there it is, all working proper. Again, one of those really special features that you just don't get on a lot of other cars. Here's your climate control. You have toggles up and down. Everything here just feels very substantial, very nice. And you can control whether or not you have dual zone climate control or whether one button controls both sides. You can leave this in automatic or adjust it as you wish. The one thing is when you press a toggle, say the fan for example, it will bring up a little bit more information here on the display. So that's kind of cool. Then you have this piece right here. So if you press this and slide it back, you have your cup holders here. If you press this thing here, I guess you have to push that back a little bit more. This will come out, then you would just have a bin. I think you could have other accessories that would snap into there. Up here you have your cigarette lighter and your ashtray, and then you can just leave that, either in the closed position or just partly open for the cup holders. We'll put that back to closed again. This is very bright right now. Very difficult to film in the middle of the day with no shade. This button right here changes the car between economy and sport. We'll just leave it in economy for now. Sport just tightens everything up as far as throttle response. It becomes a lot more dynamic to drive, at least in that regard. It doesn't change the suspension, but again, it just holds shifts longer and makes it a little bit more fun to drive. If you pull on this, the console will flip open both sides. There's USB and then auxiliary ports there. So we'll do that. This car also has a really nice audio system, speakers across the dash, in the doors, and all along the rear deck there as well. So that's pretty much a tour of the inside, more or less. Everything's in really nice shape, nice upholstery, good electronics, good features, just nice stuff all around. All right, I'll open the gate and we'll go for a drive. Now, before we set off, I just want to note a couple other things. One thing is the other cosmetic flaw that this car really had was that the driver's seat upholstery would rip at the seam, which I won't show now, but just keep an eye out for that if you're buying one. The coolest thing of all that you see from the inside is the hood ornament there. It's just really neat. I mean, we're driving a black Mercedes, you know, just with a hood ornament on the front. Very cool stuff. It might sound a little silly, and it's kind of old-fashioned, but there's something about driving a car like this with a really long hood and seeing the hood ornament out there. It just really makes you feel special. So once you get in the car and get buckled up, the first thing you'll notice is the seatbelt will actually kind of pull. It'll kind of tug on you and make sure you're in place. Everything's nice and smooth, nice and quiet. I have everything just in economy right now. Also, when you put the car in reverse, you do have a backup camera off the back there. Just thought I'd show that. This stereo definitely has plenty of power. It's like your own personal concert when you drive it. Just another thing that makes you feel really special when you drive a car like this. Yet another thing actually that's impressive with these cars is just how quiet and refined everything is. You don't really hear the engine, you don't feel the transmission shift, there's no vibrations. All the bumps in the roads are tuned out. It's very quiet. That said, it's not like it's not responsive, which we'll demonstrate later, but you know, you still know what's going on with the car. It's still fun to drive, it's still enjoyable. You just don't have anything that's harsh like you would get in even really nice cars that are just not built to the same level of quality. It's so impressive how they're able to really get everything right, at least in my opinion. These are just such really nice cars to own and drive. So again, I just talked about how this car is nice and soft and smooth, but I've shifted it into sport mode now, and I'm not going to do anything crazy. I'm borrowing this car, but you know, we'll do a little acceleration test here, not full throttle, and just see that it definitely is capable of just more than being a luxury barge that has no real fun driving qualities. It does feel a lot different than the CLK. The one thing that I should note is, you know, that has a 5-liter V8, and I know it's all about torque with that car, but the horsepower is the same, and this car just feels so much more. Here we go. All right, that's enough. But anyway, as you can see, it takes off like a rocket. It's very smooth. What a great sound from the engine. Just incredible. So what I was saying was, even though the CLK may have more power and more torque, I gotta be honest, I think this car is actually the more fun one to drive. I think this one is a lot more responsive, which makes it a lot better. And I mean, the power just, it doesn't feel like less. Honestly, if I would trade in the CLK for, say, that's an 06, so if I traded it in for a 2016, I think I'd get a 350, not a 550. I think I would avoid the larger V8 with the turbos. I think I would just go with a 350 on that. I think that's more of a sideways move. So, for what it's worth. I know we're not going super fast here, but this car definitely does not feel like a boat around the corners. It's still very responsive and fun to drive. And as far as that argument goes, another point is you're going to have a lot better fuel economy in this car. This one would be definitely better in that regard. So this car is obviously very luxurious, very nice to drive. It's also pretty fun, as we've seen. It's also very safe. You know, Mercedes doesn't really talk about it that much, I don't think, but there's also airbags all around. You also have blind spot warning indicators with the little triangles on the mirror. It also has automatic emergency braking. And also, if you drift over the line without your turn signal on, see if I can get it to do it for me here, but it will actually kind of vibrate the wheel a little bit and wake you up, make you pay attention. So cool stuff. Obviously, this car is great on the highway. It's very quiet, very smooth, very efficient. It's also just a blast on these country roads. And I'm not going super fast or anything, but it's very fun through the corners, very fun to accelerate out of the corners. You really do have it all with this car. Well, that's my tour of this W212 Mercedes E350. By the way, I forgot to mention this one is also a 4MATIC, which just adds to the practicality of it. So again, this is just a great overall sedan. You get so many things with it. You get incredible safety, good efficiency, durability. It's very fun to drive, very practical. A lot of good practical features, really. You know, whether or not these things matter to you, these features and such matter to you, that's a personal decision. But if they do, one of these cars used is an incredible bargain. So what a great deal. Very special thank you to the owner for allowing me to borrow this car. Not just for the video, which is just a really cool opportunity, but also it's just really fun to be behind the wheel of one of these again. If you enjoy videos like this, these kind of casual reviews and tours, or you know, consider subscribing. I also kind of document my ownership of some older European cars and such, and do repairs and things. Just talk about different stuff there. Consider subscribing again, and thank you for watching. And also, by the way, I do have Facebook and Instagram in case anybody's interested in following. A lot of times I don't have enough content to necessarily make like a whole video on a certain topic, but I'll try to post a picture or two here and there. So that's also out there. Thanks again for watching.